You're listening to Fusion Patrol, a listener-supported podcast. Each week, we take a single episode of a science fiction TV series, movie, or audio and overanalyze it to within an inch of its life. Welcome to the discussion. Hello and welcome to another episode of Fusion Patrol. I'm Eugene.
And I'm John.
And tonight we are looking at Season 1, Episode 15 of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, the episode entitled Happy Birthday, Buck. I wonder what this could be about. Episode synopsis. Buck is depressed. He misses the hellish nightmare that was winter in old Chicago. He's feeling old and he's feeling lost. Even a night at a dance review with Wilma and Dr. Hewer can't cheer him up. Elsewhere, a human named Lieutenant Traeger escapes from the Ovion homeworld. His ship is crippled going through the Stargate, and he puts out a distress call which is answered by a Capellan ship. Wilma and Hewer think Buck is depressed about his upcoming birthday. He'll be 534, but everyone says he doesn't look a day over 267. Wilma hits on the idea of a surprise birthday party for Buck. Hewer thinks it's a good idea, but he is preoccupied with a perceived threat to his life. A Capellan freighter arrived on Earth, and the captain disembarked and disappeared. When the authorities searched the ship, they found the real ship's captain dying of a mysterious transmutation of his body into pure silicone. Before he died, he told the authorities that the man who hijacked his ship had a vendetta against Dr. Hewer. Traeger, disguised as the Capellan captain, goes to see Dr. Bayless. She's a top-level therapist with a shady past, and either an old friend or a doctor for Traeger. He wants her to help him get to Hewer. Traeger explains to Bayless that he was on a mission to an unknown planet when he was shot down and was taken prisoner by the hostile Ovians, and he was locked away and forced to live 12 kilometers underground for 15 years. Everyone thought he was dead, but he blames Hewer, who was his boss when he volunteered for the dangerous mission. Typical for a poorly thought-out revenge-seeking whack job. He also just happened to learn the Ovian's powers of transmuting anything into anything with a touch. Bayless will help him get Hewer, and he'll make her rich. Or she won't, and he'll kill her. Buck has heard of the threat to Hewer and asks if there's anything he can do. Hewer has an idea. A directorate courier is going to have the details of Hewer's itinerary implanted in her head here in New Chicago, and then she'll go to New Detroit and have the info extracted, after which New Detroit will send security people to New Chicago to follow Hewer around. Or, I suppose, they could have just had the security guys from New Detroit come to New Chicago first and then brief them when they arrived, but that wouldn't have achieved Hewer's diabolical plot. He asks Buck to escort the beautiful courier, Raylan, to New Detroit to get him out of the way while Wilma prepares his apartment for the party. Respected Dr. Bayless has 2 henchmen in her employ, and they kidnap Raylan right out from under Buck's nose, although Buck does give pursuit. He loses her, and he barely survives an encounter with Traeger. Following a clue left behind, Buck traces Raylan to Dr. Bayless's office. Buck is once again subdued, and Traeger orders Bayless to kill him and Raylan while he leaves for New Chicago. Bayless, however, isn't quite the insane, ruthless killer that Traeger is, and uses her skills to erase Raylan's memories of the kidnapping, and she plans to do the same to Buck. Buck escapes, and then finds Raylan, who is now blissfully unaware that anything has happened, and they rush back to New Chicago. Traeger has crashed Buck's party, and is about to exact his revenge on Hewer when Buck busts in, and in the struggle causes Traeger to fall on his own hand, turning him into pure silicone. After the party, Buck isn't feeling so blue anymore.
Traeger was.
Kind of bluish, kind of whitish, kind of, yeah. So, what'd you think of Happy Birthday, Buck?
It was a fairly decent obsessive revenge episode. That's kind of the type of
It
thing where the guy gets out of prison and he wants to go put the private detective wants to kill the private detective that put him in there, that sort of stuff.
yeah, that
Good
would be
Johnny
different.
Dollar episode.
That'd be different if in fact he had been put away for doing something wrong, but here is a mission he was in the Space Force to
Oh, yeah,
do,
yeah.
went out to fly on a voluntary mission, got shot down, nobody knew he got shot down or taken
Mhm.
prisoner, and he blames Hewer for this. That
Yeah, he's
that
also
part bugs me.
crazy.
Yeah, and there's another thing too, and it feels to me like, well, he and Buck have a lot in common. Buck
How
was
so?
sent out on a space mission,
Oh, yeah,
and then
but but
he volunteered. Bad things happened. Now he's back after all this time. You can't, you've got to live your life, right? This is the perfect opportunity for
mhm.
Buck to realize that it's better to be alive than to be obsessed with the past. It's the perfect theme for this episode.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
he could
yeah.
try to make a connection with Traeger and fail because Traeger's nuts. But it's like, how did you guys miss that?
Yeah. Yeah, come to think of it, that actually would have been really good. I was also gonna say that I was entertained with this episode. I liked it. Um
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, no, no, that's fine. That's fine. You bring up a very good point, is the writers missed out on a really obvious one, but that would have been more work for the writers because it's, harder to write dialogue and interaction between 2 characters than just a couple fight scenes or, touch her and touch the woman and she's dead or you're dead or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing about that is that it really feels too much like this was actually set up that way. And I kind of wonder if maybe that was the original intent and it just got lost.
Yeah, it would I would be quite happy to find out that they filmed a scene of Rogers and Traeger talking about this very thing at Buck Rogers' birthday party right before Buck shot him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Or yeah.
because it didn't work, because Traeger was just crazy. Because the ending was really abrupt, even getting down towards the bottom of the hour there,
Yeah,
it
Buck
just
just
boom.
basically walked in and shot him.
Right, and it's like, "Oh, he's dead. He fell on his hand. Oh." Oh, yeah, spoiler alert, he fell on his hand. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, uh, we live in a different age. Just gonna have to say that just the writing styles are totally different. It'd be awesome to get, like, a Blu-ray set with banter from the director or one of the writers from this and, find out whether or not they actually did entertain that thought. I you
Yeah.
know? It's not gonna happen. All that
I don't
stuff's
think
been
so.
lost to history. Actually, not
Yeah.
lost to history, just been lost.
Or nobody wants to bother
Yeah,
recreating. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. It's like, "Oh god, I wanna listen don't wanna remember that. It was a terrible, terrible episode of my life writing for Buck Rogers. Oh,
I
only a few
have
worse with those Ralston Purina dog chow commercials. Oh, that stupid
I wrote
stagecoach."
I wrote the lyrics for the Meow Mix song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd be proud of that.
So
Ah,
well, it's the music really that sells that one.
yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So my notes are in and I actually sort of enjoyed this. It was a little bit stretched
Yeah.
considering that there wasn't a whole lot going on here. I mean, obviously we have some serious structural flaws with the concept of this, but my notes are in no order whatsoever, so I'm going to hit them in the order they are, and some trivial, some less so. Let's start with those glasses. Those completely not at all tinted
They're
glasses.
slightly smoked. It's a slight smoking of that, and so you can still see the actor's eyes, so you can still have some emotion there. But yeah, they're pretty weak.
So he was 12 kilometers underground. And as we all know, by the time you reach 12 kilometers underground, you can't have any electric lighting whatsoever.
At that depth, light does not penetrate rock.
Cannot. cannot penetrate, and electricity can't penetrate. You are stuck down there. And you learn the ability to transmute things, but you can't transmute things into things that, I don't know, glow.
Right. Maybe they
Radium.
yeah, well, you can only have
His
so
own
much
hand
radium and
glows.
then things go
His own
wrong.
hand glows. He could just use it as a torch.
Yeah, but then everything turns to silicon.
He can turn it to anything. Why? No, no. I'm going to correct you.
I
They kept
know.
saying silicone.
I know, silicone. An inert synthetic compound.
Yes. Can you have
No.
pure silicone?
Well, yeah, it comes in a tube.
But is that pure? I mean, it's
Sure.
already a compound of other things.
Sure,
So
they only use what's only needed to make silicone, which I don't offhand know. I'm gonna guess silicone oil is part of it. The exact composition is unknown to me. In fact, it may be unknown to everybody. We don't
I
know.
suspect that certainly the composition of silicon versus silicone is unknown to the writers.
Yeah,
Although, why pick that one?
I don't know. And
That's
I'm thinking that this also might
Is
be
it a
one of those
boob
things.
joke? Is it an artificial boob joke?
Well, it could be because that is what's in some of them, yes.
Yes, particularly back
Um,
then. I think that was before they figured out they wanted to use saline
yeah, oh, yeah.
solutions or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I'm I'm pretty sure that the choice to go with silicone or not instead of silicon would be also a visual thing because if somebody was made out of pure silicon, they'd be all shiny, and that would be a tricky one to do. So making them
Like
just
the
kind of this
effects department went that far.
right, exactly. It's like, oh, for practical effects, what the heck? We're gonna have to make a body cast and then like fiberglass it? No, no, it's not gonna work.
They couldn't just turn him to stone.
Yeah, exactly. Like he did that the wall quad or whatever that he
Oh,
called
oh,
it.
oh, yeah. See, he could turn stuff into anything. So I mean, why
Right, and
silicone?
he
I just
made
Yeah,
anthracite or and other diamonds and stuff.
yeah. He has the power to transmute anything into anything. So what's his obsession with silicone? Is he just? It's like I
Cones.
don't know.
That's why.
Cones.
Cones.
Yeah. Cones. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I half wonder. I half wonder
What is
if we had a copy of that script, if it didn't actually say silicon,
I
and it
bet
was
it
just
did.
the actors
Yeah.
were pronouncing it, like because a lot of people don't actually realize those are two different things,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
right?
Yeah.
So
If you make a chip out of silicone, it's not gonna do much.
no, it's
Might be a little
wobble.
bouncy, but that's about it. It's very waterproof, but
Yes.
then again, so is silicon.
So yeah, yeah, that was just weird. I mean, it's like, what is his obsession with that? It's just
Maybe it's just that's an easy one for him to do.
yeah. Now,
Maybe that's what his flight suit's made of. I don't know.
but yeah, still, they didn't tell us that, so it's just kind of wasted on
Oh,
us.
yeah, yeah, we just have to guess. And,
Yeah,
it's more fun that way, really. That's what his little friend was made of down there 12 kilometers below ground.
had to live like an animal. Well, he's pretty well freaking fed for and clothed for
No
somebody who lived
kidding.
like an animal
And
for
his
12,
uniform
15
wasn't that
years.
damaged either, just had a tear on the shoulder from what it looked like.
Yeah.
Hats off to him for using the Fighting 69ths uniforms, though.
Did it actually have the 69th
Didn't
badge
have
on
the
it?
logo, but it was the
Same
same
flight suits, yeah.
colors, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that, there were a couple different variations of the, Earth Protectorate uniform there. It's a gray one and that kind of mauve maybe it was gray, I don't know, maybe the videos were
You mean
off
the
on
one
my
that the
TV.
fake security guys were wearing?
Yeah, what would that be?
That is some purple. That's
Yeah, it's a
definitely some
variation of purple, but yeah.
yeah, that is some wow. So for a world that's so sterile and everybody wears white, that's okay, sure. It's
Yeah,
like
and on the topic of their world, I'm sure there's weather. I mean, outside the city, I mean, is there like a dome over the city? Over New Chicago and New Detroit and New everything? I
no.
mean, okay, so,
Yeah.
we are guessing we're going to assume that there is planetary weather control on Earth now?
Going back to the movie, when
He's out in the
Dr.
wasteland.
Theopolis first meets Buck,
Uh-huh.
he says, "Oh, I hope you'll get a chance to see the sunset tonight. I've programmed in just the slightest hint of vermilion. It's going to be lovely." Remember? He
Yes, I
did.
do remember that now.
So that theme has gone all the way back to the movie,
Oh,
but it's the last we've heard of it. This-
Wilma said that, they could, sh they could have some windows installed in Buck's quarters.
yeah, it's like, you mean
So,
he's not in an interior apartment?
I'm thinking he is in an interior apartment, and she means, like, high-resolution 3D video displays that look like a window outside to the world,
Maybe,
which would
maybe.
make a lot of sense. That would be a technology that would really go far in making living underground for who knows how long something that was actually doable.
You know that they do that on cruise ships, right?
I've heard of that, but I've never seen video of it.
I
I
have
think that'd
seen
be
video of
weird.
it. I've been on a cruise ship and we actually had a porthole
Yeah, I'd
once.
rather have a porthole, even if
That
a
was enough.
small
But
one.
yes, apparently you can have some of those really, really massive ships because they do have a whole sets of cheap cabins that don't have
Oh,
access to the window. They put those in for those people.
I took an overnight ferry from Denmark to Norway once, and it was an interior room, and it was about the size of a refrigerator box,
You
and there
had
were
a
no
room?
windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost. Oh, it could be like those Japanese ships where there's just like a big open tatami room where people sack out on the floor. That's
That's
weird.
what I was expecting. That's what I would
The
have
right
expected, but
proper European ship. I don't know.
yeah, but if it's just a ferry, I would not expect them to have cabin space. I would expect it to be like
Oh,
waiting room
no, no,
seats at an airport.
it took a good, 6.5, 7 hours to get from,
Yeah.
Copenhagen to Norway.
Ain't got any problem with 14 to 16 hours on a flight across the ocean sitting up in an uncomfortable seat. I don't see why you couldn't put a
Yeah, well,
but yeah.
space is a bit of a premium on an airplane.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um
we're talking about Buck
the
Rogers tonight.
the dumbest
Yes.
the dumbest system of transmitting information
Hmm,
from
man.
to Chicago to New Detroit. Wow. I mean,
Human courier with memory implants. Hmm, okay.
also it's not yeah, I mean, okay. Hmm, you can't make a phone call. Also,
Gotta be tapped.
Is Hewer's itinerary so secret that you couldn't figure out that he's going to be, at some places without knowing his minute by minute that. And then why is it that security is in New Detroit? I know it's because Detroit's a dangerous city and all, but you know, why why would the Earth Defense Directorate, which is based in New Chicago, have their security people in New Detroit so that and you it hurt so bad. They just needed an excuse to send somebody to another city
Yeah.
and yeah. And if that isn't bad enough cuz that's just the setup. Did you hear what they called Raylan as with regards to the her her I don't know. I don't even know how to phrase it. I'll just tell you. They said she was their most experienced courier. She's the best they've got. And the first thing she does is two guys show up and don't give her the code word. Now that's
That's a
bad,
that's
but
amazing.
that's nowhere near as bad as what happens when she realizes it. Hey, you
Yeah,
were supposed to
exactly.
say Blue 11.
Uh, oh.
Wow.
Having what I would call just an ancillary security related job, that just makes me cringe so bad. It just hurts. It's like, no, why, please, that even for the '70s, that was just bad.
And I am pretty sure that we have in previous episodes sent encrypted messages across space.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we have. But Detroit, that's a problem.
Well, phew.
And I mean, Dr. Hewer's calendar, I mean, all 14 days of it. Oh my gosh, the data storage. That
Hey,
must be what, 20, 30 bytes?
maybe, yeah. With compression, yes. Wait, do they have compression in the future? I can't remember.
uh,
Wow. Yeah, I know.
I know. I enjoyed this. I actually
70s.
enjoyed this episode because of the stupid stuff too, which is actually good because sometimes the stupid gets me angry, but in this one, the stupid just makes me laugh. And there were some things in it that did make me laugh, like, for example, a very salient comment on Buck's part about the delocking device.
Yes.
It's a
The key.
delocking device. You mean a key? Like, you guys do make it all complicated. It's like they do that
Yeah.
on this show,
At least they don't do
and
that with numbers.
as in, like, making the numbers, if you wanted to say 4, you have to say 2 plus 2? I'm not, or the
Well, no, I'm just talking about when they write them out. The numbers look like numbers we'd recognize today. When you look at their
okay.
text, it's all this,
Weird
very
up
thin
and down.
font and upper and lowercase mixed. It's like,
Yeah.
boy, that'll slow somebody down right there.
Well, not in the future if that's what they were taught to read.
Well, yeah, okay.
But
Poor
yes,
Buck. Oh,
it is,
imagine
yeah.
reading an entire book like that.
Buck doesn't read books. He's he's a man of the 80s. He watches MTV. Um,
I think we get his birth year of around 1958.
we could work it out more or
Yeah.
less. I mean, when you watch the end credits or when you watch the opening credits, they
Hmm.
do end on the year he arrives in and before they switch to in the 25th century.
Yeah.
So we could figure out what year he actually arrived in. We know this is January, so it's the next year. And we know he
Oh.
is 564, unless it's not, and it's the year after that, which Buck would have already had a birthday year. I'm not sure. But, right, we could safely say that he is definitely at least 1 year past where he arrived. But yeah,
Hmm.
we could narrow Buck. I think in another episode they actually give his birth date or his birth year, maybe in second season or something.
Like
I don't know if they get it right.
530 or something like that, 535 or
He's
something. Anyway,
534 now. Yeah,
534. There we go.
534.
Yeah.
Yeah, conveniently broke down to 267 by half. Yeah, there were some good lines. I mean, he's shaped for somebody half his age. Yeah, there is nobody half his age. Oh yeah, good point. It's like,
I wonder what the human life expectancy is in the future.
I don't know. I'm guessing Dr. Hewer is 40, maybe 35,
Oh, that means Deering's about what? 20?
12.
12, okay.
It's hormones. They give him
Mm.
hormones,
Oh, that could be it, yeah.
growth hormones. It's in all the milk. Yeah.
Milk, you mean
Um,
the Syntha-Food chips
Syntha-food milk. Yeah,
from the
the
Racka-Frackasizer.
Syntha Syntha formula. Yeah. Um,
Mm.
I appreciate they're incorporating a very old joke. I don't know if you know this
Mm.
joke. There's variations of it, but it has to do with, oh, you're so old. We all went blind looking at the candles
Oh,
on
yes.
the cake. You know that one?
Yeah.
It's like there's either that one or there is
Set the smoke
what's
alarm off.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's a
Mhm.
couple of variations of that, but one of them is, the lights blinded you, and sure enough, they did.
Yep, that was actually nice, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So many candles
you didn't make
that
a
they
very big
blinded the
cake, but
guy.
it seemed like there were some new establishing shots, not just new Detroit, but also it
Yeah,
looked like a couple of new ones for New Chicago, or one new one for New Chicago with the water.
yeah, yeah, I think that's just I uh, if I get really bored, I'll go through, I'll kind of fast forward through other episodes and see if I can spot the outside mat the buildings and stuff, because it was pretty clear that that was just a quick cutout of some lake plunked down in the middle of a glass painting they had, a background. But yeah, it was nice to see other shots. I mean, two new spaceships, little
Yeah. The
starfighters that tried to catch them, and the Capellan survey ship. We saw a little bit of that.
the my problem with agreeing with that is that I'm not 100% sure if we've seen those Ovian ships before, but if we haven't, we will definitely see that shot where they kind of flit around the Stargate and go
Mhm.
away again, because I know that's been used more than once in the series. I just don't know if we've seen it already, but yeah.
Mm.
What is up with the Ovians? I mean, what
I don't
what
know. I mean, they really don't seem to be a nice group of folks. We probably would not want to accept any invitations they send you,
they
because
shot down
apparently,
an alien
right, because they'll just charge you with espionage and throw you in a hole.
and then they throw you in a hole for 15 years. Why not just kill him?
Well, maybe they really they don't like taking lives, but they don't mind impounding them forever.
Well, they were going to shoot him. I mean, they shot him down. That
Well, yeah,
would have taken his life if he hadn't managed to survive. But it's like
I
their
don't know.
motivations are really weird. And then also they just happen to be the race that can transmute things.
Ah,
Like, why are they so anti? Do they not want people to come take them away and exploit them to make money?
that
Or
would
I
that actually is a really good idea. And yeah, that might be it. Maybe that's why they do it. They all know that they have a gift and everybody wants to exploit it, so we hate everybody. So we
but
shoot first.
they also, are probably pretty dangerous.
I would think so, yes. So, of course, you put a Stargate right next to their system. Good
Yes,
idea.
yes, they have a convenient Stargate
Good
next
idea.
the
Yep.
unknown system where Traeger's been trapped for all these years.
Yeah. It's very
Hadn't even
unknown.
thought about that.
God.
He could be
What
parsecs away from now. Yeah, of course he is. That's what a Stargate does.
Yeah.
It's like, where did you think he was? It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
she went back to his hold. I mean, what kind of okay, let's run with this. So we've got the Ovians.
Sure.
They're a race of beings that can transmute anything into anything.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Be quite useful.
What kind of world would you live in?
I don't know.
I mean, I
Um,
can't even this is worse than Star Trek, it's like, oh, we're in a post-scarcity economy. It's like, would you even have a concept of doing anything? Which
well,
why do you have spaceships? What what is the what is the point? Wouldn't you just kind of sit around all day and I'm hungry? Meh. Hamburger.
it could be that he can transmute things into lower order items. Eh,
Those
eh,
crystals sure did seem nicely
yeah,
formed.
I don't know what credits are made of, and there I would think that there would have to be some cost to all this, some psychic energy, or he has to eat rocks or something. I don't know. He said that it was the environment that he was in.
He thinks, yeah.
He
He's
thinks,
not
yeah,
sure.
right. And if
So will it
that's the
go away?
case, exactly, will it go away? Yeah, I don't
What
know.
about
I,
the
I would
Ovians?
I would guess that their society has a lot of very strict rules with very strict penalties for doing things like, turning an entire orchard of what they call apples into
Gold.
silicone.
Silicone. It is the most valuable material on the planet of the
Yeah,
Ovians.
it's the one that little kids learn how to make first because it's bouncy and you can't hurt yourself. And it's waterproof, so they can teethe and it's fine. So
Of
really, he's
course.
he's only he's only mastered the chair destruction, turning things to silicone, and the gem trick.
And don't forget the computer, which he turned to,
Oh,
I
that's
don't
right.
know,
You turn
wood or
into I don't
something.
know. Yeah, I think you turn it
Stone.
into sandstone or something.
I just want to say that in the next scene, when they go to
Mhm.
the door, her computer has been completely fixed on the door.
They're fast. The
Yeah,
repair teams are quick.
they're on that.
all
It's like,
those
again, nothing.
all those draconian strikes really have made the damage and control guys into a highly elite, well-honed team.
So if you could make your hand into a glowing silicone producing machine,
Mhm. I would try not to scratch my head, but yeah.
but then by accident you can touch yourself and turn yourself into silicone. Let me ask this question. What's stopping the end of his hand that's touching the not glowing part of his arm from turning him into
Error,
silicone?
error,
Error. Does
error, error, error. I don't know.
Norman please come coordinate?
Mhm.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't know. Eh, yeah, does he can you tell his loaded hand by the cuff of his jacket being silicone? It's like, "Oh, it's interesting fashion you have there." You know,
Can he
"Know the
turn it back?
Ovion by their silicone hands." Yeah, I don't know.
All right. The other thing, one of the many other things in this episode that's kind of weird. He's been gone 15 years. He doesn't
Mhm.
know Dr. Hewer is the head of the Earth Defense Directorate. All he knows is that after 15 years, his one goal in life is to return to Earth to kill Dr. Hewer.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know anything about Dr. Hewer's life, really. But he knows right to go to Dr. Bayless.
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
And he knows that she's like a prominent psychiatrist or whatever the heck she is. And she's, I don't know, they don't act right. Is he her former
Client.
patient?
Yes. Yes.
Because she did say that, but they don't act like it. They act like they were partners in crime.
I think I have a feeling the way it happened was is he found her on that planet selling quadrillium on Regulus 4, that's it.
Whatever that means. Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that illegal? Who knows?
yeah, it's
Okay.
a highly radioactive material. Um,
Killing people, but yeah. But
exactly,
again.
and probably decided to team up. Why? Because I don't know. I guess he was a nicer guy back then.
Yeah, I mean,
Whatever.
that's how did he get into the Space Force?
Right, exactly. Maybe they dated, who knows? And she had a dark past and was trying to become a psychic whatever, a psychologist in the future. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's it their interaction is just like really weird. It's like that's who you thought to go to because you're going to be able to get the information on Hewer. Why would you think she would be able to get the I don't understand. Couldn't
And
you at least just get back to Earth and go, "Hey, I would like to go out to a nice restaurant and
yeah,
have a meal that I didn't have to dig up from the dirt in a hole on Ovion." But
yeah,
no.
yeah,
No.
I can only stand so much transmuted rock turned into meat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it
It still tastes like granite. Yeah. Uh,
so is she crooked? She's crooked, right?
oh, yeah, yeah, she's bent. Oh,
She's
yeah,
definitely been even
she's
now, it's not like she's gone on the straight and narrow because she's got
2
because it
thugs in
sounds
her
like she's
employ.
yeah, she's 2 thugs in her employ, and she apparently taps information from her patients.
Mhm. Yeah. I used to know that corruption is still alive and well in the 25th century.
25th century, yeah, okay, okay, yeah. It's like there there is that scene I just wanna point out there where when they go through the psychotherapy room or whatever they wanna call it with all the people and they're
Mhm.
talking to the machine, that one woman at the end, he
Yeah.
said, "That was when my mom told me that I was a surprise and that I was an accident and that daddy and she were surprised." What does that mean? And I think my wife walked into the room about that time and she was going through and she just turned around and she said, "They're growing them real dumb in the 25th century, aren't they?"
Yeah, I suppose the literal meaning would be that, yes. Uh, yeah.
Like, are and what is the point of that? Is this supposed to be like her is that supposed to be like the root of her childhood trauma? I've been traumatized as an unwanted person ever since my mom told me it was an accident, but she doesn't even understand what it means. So how can she be traumatized by it?
Right. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think she was asking for clarification on a dream that she had, or a reoccurring dream,
Oh,
and
did she say it was a dream?
it was a dream, yeah. It was a dream that she had dreamt that her mother said that she was a surprise, and
Okay, well,
yeah, and
then
she want
I'm
yeah.
gonna walk it back because what that could mean in a dream analysis, which is
Mhm.
hooey,
Yeah, yeah.
we got
Yeah.
it's like it could be a situation like that's your subconscious telling you that you're not worthy,
Right,
that
right,
you're a
decidedly
mistake, that you're yeah. So
inadequacy.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely an insecurity
Yeah.
thing. So I can totally get that.
I think Sigmund Freud would be very happy to hear that. Yeah.
Who has also been determined to be hooey and yeah, I think I already mentioned how secure could Hewer's calendar really be. Although I do appreciate the fact that Buck is up in the air vent when they go, "Well, what's he doing tonight?" "Well, he's spending the evening in the at a surprise birthday party in the apartment of William Anthony Rogers." Buck's up there and they going.
Well, at least I know where they are. Yeah.
Now I get why they sent me off with a hot babe from space. Uh,
Yep.
boy, there sure were a lot of Morgans in the 70s, weren't there? Morgan Brittany was playing
Yeah.
Waylon in this one, yeah.
Yeah. There were quite that was a very popular name, for
Yeah,
men and women. I went to school with a guy named Morgan. Yeah, and we know a guy named Morgan. Yeah.
that's
Weird.
true.
Mhm.
It's true. Uh, we mentioned in a
Mhm.
previous episode that they had made efforts in one of the previous episodes. I think it may have been the last one, the Space Vampire. Yeah, it was. They had made mention of, they were going to Genesia and they were going to see, wasn't Tangi in that case, it was one of the others.
Yeah, one of
Um,
the
yeah, one of the one
Bucks
that
girls.
is with the one that ended up with Dabney Coleman. No, Gary Coleman.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I thought this was going to be the episode with Gary Coleman.
Last recording, you had mentioned that, it's like, I don't know if that's the one coming up.
I feel like that they have that that was also a birthday episode, but
Yes.
oddly enough.
I
But
I
anyway,
think that's the next episode.
it is the next episode for sure. But we'll get to that anyway.
Interesting,
What I was
yeah.
going to say before I distracted myself
Yeah.
was that in this
Happens.
episode, man, Wilma listed every girl Buck has encountered. Right? There's Tangi
Mhm.
and there's it's like,
Alina, Miss
okay,
Cosmos,
this Cosmo,
Joella.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and so, you know, and was like, I'm seeing a pattern here. Yes, 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 I think there is a pattern here. So all of Buck's friends, I'm glad she invited them all because not one of them was at that party.
Yeah. It's all security people.
Not they couldn't get one single one of his exes to show up in this show because that would have cost them money.
Right, and really, the way the script was shot, there really wasn't any time for them to be introduced at all.
No, no. So the point was the fact that she rattled off people that a dedicated Buck Rogers fan would know who she was talking about.
Mhm.
If she had just named off 15 different women's names, right?
Yeah.
Because let's face it, he doesn't really know Miss Cosmos. She's off in the cosmos somewhere, and Tangi is gone off with whoever, and they're not there on Earth. Most of these women are adventurers and they've been out in space. So if she'd said, "Oh, well, then there's Deborah in communications department, and then there's Anna in the
Mhm.
medical wing, and blah 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 blah," then none of this wouldn't have triggered up. But because she did intentionally go, "These are the people I'm inviting," and none of them are there, which would actually make Buck a lot more. I invited a lot of people, Buck, but none of them showed up. So.
Mhm.
Now I am depressed. I do. I think we mentioned this in one other episode. I do appreciate it when Buck gets, and it's a terrible thing to say, but I do appreciate it when Buck gets just a little bit maudlin about, because he is an optimistic guy, but God, how weird would that be to be launched 5
Right.
centuries forward, you know?
Right. And to him, he had been training as an astronaut. He was all briefed on this new mission, and he was in space doing his job. I'm going to assume enjoying it. And then all of a sudden, he wakes up in a draconian ship, and
Yeah,
the rest is Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
yeah,
That
and
would just be weird. And I'm surprised he doesn't have.
a shrink.
Yeah, exactly. Like he hasn't heard of this doctor before because he's got a lot of stuff to deal with.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's
just
what Tweaky's for.
yeah, exactly. Poor Tweaky.
Ah,
I mean,
oh.
knowing that you're going to come to terms with everybody he's ever known is dead. Okay, that's big one
And
right there.
he has but one goal in life, and that's to go back in time and kill the head of NASA.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Uh,
Do you have anything else on this episode?
no, sometimes I wish they would redo this series and sure, you can do the same basic storylines, but just have, you know, writers that are more interested in writing good dialogue and building characters and not just bang bang shoot 'em ups.
But if they make this show again, I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be grim and dark.
Yeah,
And
it would be really easy to make it grim and dark,
right.
sadly.
That's all they know how to do.
Right, and that would be a lot easier than making it funny, because making
Right.
it funny is tough.
And not a comedy.
No. Oh, yeah, yeah, and
Fun.
that would be even
Yeah.
worse, is, I we don't wanna see a remake of Cork like that, and that's what it just hurts.
Yeah. You and I need to take a look at the pilot of Space Force someday.
Space Force. Is that
Uh-huh.
a Jerry Anderson thing?
Uh-uh.
No?
It was an American 1970s pilot. I don't know. It may have starred Fred Willard.
Wow.
About the U.S. I think it resurfaced on YouTube a while back after Dipshit created the Space Force in the U.S., and that was actually the name of the show, Space Force. So yeah,
Not the, 2021 with, Steve Carell.
no, no,
Hmm.
no, 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 no. This is an oldie anyway.
Anyways, yeah,
Just
sorry.
one episode, and believe me, it didn't deserve it. Speaking of episodes that don't deserve it, next time we are going to be doing 2 episodes of Buck Rogers.
Ooh. I don't know if we can handle
Not
that.
not because it's a 2-parter, but because the next episode is a blast for Buck, which is a clip show,
Yes, that's right. That's right.
and Ardala returns, which will be the next episode. So we're gonna stick the clip show in there because I suspect that we can go, yep, it's clip show.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yep, yep. Remember all those? Didn't
Mhm.
surprise me with any new scenes. So let's move on. So yeah, blast for Buck. Ardala returns next time. John, thank you for joining me.
No, you're welcome.
And listeners, I do hope you'll join us all again next time on Fusion Patrol. This has been Fusion Patrol. Thanks for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, we hope you'll consider supporting us at buymeacoffee.com/fusionpatrol or patreon.com/fusionpatrol. For our Patreon subscribers, we're currently running a special series on Babylon 5. Come join the conversation and find other content at fusionpatrol.com. You can contact us on social media where our Fediverse address is @podcast@fusionpatrol.com or by email at feedback@fusionpatrol.com. Fight the Future by Amberwolf is our theme music. You can find more from Amberwolf at bandcamp.com. This has been a Lone Locust production.